Are you looking forward to the most for playing for Atlanta?
Mm. I'm gonna say something off the court. Lemon pepper wings. I can't wait to get them lemon pepper wings. But on the court, I mean, it's just gonna be amazing. Having everyone around me, setting screens for them, getting them open, getting to the basket. It's gonna be fun. I can't wait to go out there and run up and down that court with them because it's gonna be something special.
Thank you, BG. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, BG.
Thursday night, Indiana Fever and Atlanta Dream played. Indiana Fever is where Caitlin Clark plays. Atlanta Dream is where Brittney Griner plays. Now you tell me what it looks like Brittney Griner is saying here.
Or the ticky-tack fouls that we were talking about earlier today.
For a little bit of context, this was in the fourth quarter after Brittney Griner fouled out against Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever would go on to win by 5. Now I'm going to tell you what I think she said. Let's play it back. Looks to me like she is saying trash and then calling Caitlin Clark a bleep white girl. Just a reminder, this is who Joe Biden traded for the Russian merchant of death. So many WNBA players hate Caitlin Clark so much when she is the best thing that could have happened to the league. And she's not the best thing that happened to the league because she's white. It's because she's a good player. It's because she's the best player. Now, imagine if Caitlin Clark said the inverse of this. It would be reprehensible, condemned, and understandably so. You've got all of these individual players. You have sports commentators, people like Ryan Clark, who constantly tout of the racial tensions that exist in the league, when in reality, they are the ones perpetuating and amplifying these racial tensions with their anti-white hatred for Caitlin Clark.
Boy, 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 boy. So we got to talk about Brittney Griner, who is facing a whole lot of backlash after getting caught going on what appears to be a racial rant against Caitlin Clark after getting fouled out of the game. Now, one of the fouls that led to Brittney Griner being fouled out of the game came on this play right here against Caitlin Clark, in which Brittney Griner committed an offensive foul.
She fouled out at 6, and it was the ticky-tack fouls. And again, Caitlin Clark doing a little bit of an acting job. Not sure if that was actually a foul, but again, that's...
Yeah, so, again, some people are saying that this is a flop, right? They're saying that Caitlin Clark flopped here, right? They're saying that she was doing some acting. Now, I personally don't know, right, if she was doing some acting. But, hey, this is what people are saying. Now, this is the foul that actually led to Brittney Griner getting fouled out of the game.
For Ryan Howard sitting at 23 in the foul by Brittney Griner. Wow. That's another fouled out situation for BG.
And we were wondering when she would come back in the game, comes back in and immediately picks up that 6th foul. And it's smart by Indiana. It's smart by Natasha Howard to realize that I need to go at a person who has 5 fouls, and BG just gets her inadvertently. You see that left elbow go into the throat of Howard and changes the direction of her shot. And when BG goes back and looks at the film, she's going to know that some of these were the ticky-tack fouls that we were talking about earlier today.
Now, this is what she said on the bench after she got fouled out that is leading to the backlash.
For the ticky-tack fouls that we were talking about earlier today. For the ticky-tack fouls that we were talking about earlier today.
Yeah, so people are saying that Brittney Griner said trash and then effing white girl, right? That is what it looks like. Trash, effing white girl. That's what it looked like, right? So that is what Brittney Griner is now facing backlash over.
So Brittney Griner cusses Caitlin Clark, uses profanity, is jealous of play, attacks Caitlin Clark. And let me explain what's happening. You are seeing a lot of very, very racist women, right? These are racist women who were taught that they were God's gift to women's basketball, that they are black, and because of that, they are better than white people at sports. That's the one area that they can succeed over white people in sports, right? And this is their league, right? Then you got a young, the stereotypical white girl, pretty, skinny, is better than, it comes into the sport and becomes the Michael Jordan, LeBron James of the sport. The face gets more publicity on one than they've ever got in some of their playoff, any of their games ever. Brings more money, They are extremely jealous and won't say it. They want to make it like it's typical basketball. But no, they have made it very clear. Angel Reese, the Brittney Griners, that nobody cared about their league before she came, and that hurts them.
Okay, and the reason why she's facing backlash is because it really shows the hypocrisy of the WNBA, okay? Because WNBA had opened up an investigation into the alleged racial slurs that have been levied against Angel Reese and other black players when they play Caitlin Clark, right? When they play in Indiana, they say, well, the fans are racist, right? And the WNBA thought it'd be a good idea to investigate these racist comments, right, from fans. But yet you have these allegations from fans that, hey, Brittney Griner, right, went on a racial rant against Caitlin Clark. Now, again, did she really say that to Caitlin Clark? Personally, I really don't know, okay? I mean, to me, it certainly looks like she said effing white girl. Now, who could she be referring to? Was it the ref? Was it the person behind her? I don't know. Some people are saying that Brittney Griner said, trash effing whack call. People like Jamel Hill, for example, who got triggered by Riley Gaines calling this out. Jamel Hill says that, I get that your whole personality is caught up in stuff like this, so you don't care about spreading misinformation. The foul call made on her had nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. It was because she fouled Natasha Howard. She clearly says trash and effing whack call. Now, again, you know, look, here's the thing. It's really hard to say exactly what she said, right? But to me personally, I don't know if she said whack call. She may have said something else, but it looks a lot closer to what people are saying that she said rather than what, you know, Jamel Hill is saying that she said. But I guess maybe, just maybe, she could have said whack call. I don't know. And to me, I mean, y'all look at the lips, okay? Why does that look like call, right? Is that how you say call? Okay, let's see. I don't know, man. I don't know. Riley Gaines says, good to hear from you. Grifting, LOL. I didn't ask for the platform I have. I simply said men and women's sports is wrong, which you, as a proclaimed women's sports enthusiast, have yet to do. So I'll ask directly, do men belong in women's sports? Silence is an answer, by the way. Yeah, so all I know is this. If this was anybody else, right, and these allegations were being made, okay, a.k.a. Brittney Griner was white, and people were making allegations that she said something like this, the WNBA would investigate, okay? Regardless, you know, hey, a lot of it really is silly, to be honest with you. Because regardless of what she said, I personally don't have a problem with, you know, players saying whatever they want on the bench. I just wish that everybody was treated equally, right? In the sense that if a white player says something on the bench that can be interpreted as, I don't know, racial, that people don't lose their minds, right? Or if fans say things that are racial, that people don't lose their minds, right? I just want equal treatment for everybody across the board, right? That is all I'm saying, okay? I just don't think that if the roles were reversed, that people would say, oh, well, she just said it was, you know, whack call, right? Now, again, you know, she did, you know, get fouled out. One of the fouls she received was from Caitlin Clark, okay? So who knows what she was talking about, right? I'm just saying that you can come up with your own conclusion about what she was saying and who she was directing it towards. We know if the skin color was reversed here, okay, we know that there would be a much different reaction considering how, again, the WNBA literally opened up an investigation into fans saying, quote unquote, racist things against Angel Reese, right? I mean, it really is pathetic. What's even more pathetic is that we traded the Merchant of Death for Brittney Griner, right? Really, we traded the Merchant of Death to get Brittney Griner out of Russian prison because she was not intelligent enough to know that, hey, maybe, just maybe, I shouldn't be traveling to other countries like Russia with narcotics in my bag, right? So, yeah, this is the WNBA, okay? Again, they claim they don't hate Caitlin Clark because she's white, and that, you know, that's just MAGA and racist making that up, right? But yet, every time they get a chance, they show us how racist they really are. Like, for example, when it comes to Ryan Clark, we talked about him attacking RG3 for having a white wife, right? RG3 committed the crime of having a white wife as a black man and then criticizing a black woman in front of his white wife, and these people lost their minds. Ryan Clark got a whole bunch of backlash for attacking RG3's wife And now he's low-key apologizing, right? I'm not sure if you can really call this an apology, but it sounds to me like he's feeling the heat from the backlash. And one of the reasons why is because, again, he's been exposed as a hypocrite, right? He criticized RG3 for essentially having a white wife when this dude had a whole white family back in the day, right? He got exposed. His daughter is basically a white woman, okay? Again, had a whole white family, okay, before he married his black queen. You can't make this up, right? This person says it's comical. Ryan Clark had a whole white ass family. He decided to keep it real and marry a black woman. Ryan chastising RG3 while he's parading around with his white daughter is hypocrisy in its purest form. Ryan, your daughter looked more like Caitlyn than Angel. Again, I guess they never had a black conversation with his daughter, right? According to this dude's logic, okay? Because, you know, again, her whole family, her side of the family is white. So again, you know, she must not know anything about the black experience, right? She doesn't have any black women in her life to, you know, tell her what it's like to be a black woman, right? What black women go through. Look at this post right here. This is him responding to the backlash, right? After it got exposed that, you know, he was in a relationship with a white woman, okay? He says, I didn't know this was news, but since other people want to talk about her, this is my firstborn, Jaden. My God, she's beautiful, all of her. I fell in love with her for the first time I ever saw her, and I've loved her every day since. We grew up together, we cried together, laughed, fought. She is all mine, and I've always been so proud to be her father. Maybe the news in light of this week is that she's biracial, so she is a perfect part of my God-given experience, and so the sum of those experiences make me who I am. Yeah, so that is what Ryan Clark put out there, okay? And Clay Travers responded to this. He says, you destroyed your own argument with this post and you are too dumb to realize it. Congrats, man. That's hard to do. You truly may be the dumbest person in sports media, which is saying something. This person says, I got called out for being a racist jerk, which I absolutely am. So here are some pictures of my biracial daughter. Then you backtracking. We see how your hypocrisy works. This is what you get. Keep your mouth shut. ABL says, these comments, yikes, bro. Your fault, though. You was talking all that ish. This person says, dude looking for sympathy now. He pays child support to a white woman and took the father out of the house. And he's talking ish about a man who is married to his children's mother and kept the father in the home. Sad. So again, these hypocrites are getting exposed left and right. And this is what we had to say after the backlash.
Greta Griffin. Let me say this before getting into reasoning, before getting into thought process. She should not have been brought up in me trying to make a point about how having black women close to you and the things that you learn from them can help you in the way that you approach and speak to and about them. She didn't need to be the illustration of that. I could speak positively about what they are without making the insinuation that it's something that non-black women don't do well. I'm doing the exact same thing, or it may have seemed that I did the exact same thing to her that I'm trying to keep people from doing to black women. My thought process was, in seeing certain clips on my algorithm, on my timeline, they do a podcast together. In that podcast, they talk very openly about not being black enough. They talk very openly about biracial kids, what it's like to not be accepted in the black community. They very rarely talk about black women. In the video that RG3 posted that I felt like mocked Angel Reese, she was in the background. Then I love the optics of RG3, a black man, attacking and imitating, and what I felt insulting, mocking a black woman as his wife was in the background, almost seemingly as a prop of, and this is my feeling, of what was good, amening, nodding along, and applauding what I felt like was a personal attack. I didn't. But that doesn't mean because I have that feeling about what you do to someone else that I can do that to you. So, to Greta, I was out of line. I was out of bounds. I apologize. To all of the people that don't like RG's take or takes or the way that he moves, or even if you just in this conversation take my side and want to support me, leave his family alone. It doesn't take a daily attack on his wife, on his children, to remind him that you think his take, his takes, or whatever it is the wrong thing to you. Families should be off limits. I started that by bringing her into it. I see that now. No matter what my intent was, the impact was different. If I had to do it all over again, I would do it a different way.
Wow. You know, look, here's the thing. These people are hilarious to me, okay? And they are, you know, endless entertainment, to be honest with you, okay? They're revealing themselves for who they really are. And Ryan Clark is apologizing because he's getting a lot of backlash, right? He's been exposed, okay, as one of the #1 race hustlers in sports media. And, you know, when you attack a man for who he's in a relationship with, for having a white wife, it's just a really bad look, right? It really is. Because that's what he was doing. That's exactly what he was doing. It's not a good look at all, right? To me, it seems like some jealousy and hate, right? I think that's where a lot of it really is coming from, to be honest with you. RG3 didn't say anything wrong. What he said was accurate. I think that Brittney Griner situation is exactly what I'm talking about, right? I mean, if she did say that in response to being fouled out, which it looks like she did. If she did say effing white girl, trash, all of this stuff, like if that's what she said, then yeah, I mean, to me, that further backs up the claim that a lot of these women in the WNBA, they don't like Caitlin Clark, and the dislike has to do with race. I mean, it's very clear, right? It's right there in your face, okay? But, you know, hey, it is what it is. I just think that, to be honest with you, the WNBA, I think they're low-key kind of leaning into this because, let's be real, and I said this the other night, right, when I was talking to some friends, I said, well, we already have a superior product to the WNBA, right? The NBA is better than the WNBA. Right now, the NBA playoffs are happening, right? I don't even watch the NBA, but I'm just saying the NBA is a superior product to the WNBA, even if the NBA isn't a great product relative to what the NBA used to be. Regardless, that means that the only reason why anybody would watch the WNBA has to be the drama, right? That's it. That's it. There's no other reason to watch it because obviously the play is not good. I think the game we were watching the other night, I don't remember the teams that were playing, but what I do remember is watching it. And it was a whole bunch of air balls, right? It was just air ball after air ball, miss layup after miss layup. And I'm like, why does anybody watch this, right? Like, I mean, I wasn't watching it. I didn't turn on the channel to the WNBA, right? The people I was with, they had it on, right? Just in the background. But, you know, it was like, why would anybody watch this? Again, look at this clip right here from Angel Reese, right? Look at this.
Cardoso with the miss. Angel Reese picks it up, which she's good at. Getting another offensive rebound. She says, give me that. How about another? Persistence trying to pay off. Jones gets a piece. Angel Reese won't give up. Jones with another block.
Oh, she won't give up. No, she just sucks, right? She tried to make like 4 layups, like 4, and she rebounded her missed layups like 4 times. So she's stat padding because most of her rebounds come from her own misses. And the more she misses, the more rebounds she get. So, you know, I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, yeah, I mean, if this is the quality of play, why does anybody watch this? It has to be the drama. That's it. There is no other reason to watch it. So it's almost like the WNBA at this point, they're leaning into this, right? They're personally leaning into it because they know that, okay, well, there's no other reason to watch the WNBA outside of Caitlin Clark, right? And again, we watch Caitlin Clark because she actually has skills, right? She actually has skills that I think are comparable to NBA players, right? And I think that's why we watch her. But everybody else is not worth watching, right? If Caitlin Clark is not playing, it ain't worth watching. That's the honest to God truth, okay? That is the truth. So, I don't know. I think at this point, the WNBA, they just better hope Caitlin Clark doesn't get hurt, right? Because if Caitlin Clark gets hurt, okay, seriously injured, it's over for them, right? It is over, okay? Because all the drama goes away, right? All of the reasons why people watch the WNBA, clearly it's not because of the quality of play. All of that goes away. And, you know, I just don't think they are really helping themselves out with what they're doing here. In the short term, it might make sense because, again, the drama brings the views. But if Caitlin Clark happens to get hurt, the drama goes away, and nobody's watching the WNBA because of the quality of play from any other player, right, in the league. So, hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.